A scruffy human is slashed to the ground by a vampire. Unexpectedly, the vampire's hands begin to shake and then screamed. When the camera zoomed in, its hands looked like they were corroded and still steaming. Turns out this guy is not just any guy. Legend has it that only the blood of a half-blood hunter can subdue a vampire. This guy was still making a living as a con man. What is it all about? The story begins in the Balkans in 1992. There was still a civil war going on here at that time. Commander Cook led a group of soldiers to the town. There's bodies all over the place. Cook went down to look. Blood is missing from every body, and the way they died was horrific. Cook and others came to the church door. The door of the church was covered in blood. Cook kicked down the door. There are many corpses piled inside the church. There were a lot of scratches on the body and no blood. Cook thinks it's the wolves. His subordinate Chimu didn't believe it at all. Just then an old man rushed in at the door. As he walked, he shouted that the devil had done it. The old man told Cook to be sure to inform the half-blood hunter to come here and kill. Chimu casually shot and killed the old man. Cook walked over and taught him a lesson. Then he ordered the soldiers to bury all the bodies. At nightfall, Cook was unable to contact the command center and had to settle in this town temporarily. Two soldiers kept watch outside at night. A beautiful woman suddenly appeared in front of them. One of the soldiers ventured forward to speak. This beauty is actually a female vampire. Her fingernails suddenly became very long while she was walking. Cook brought someone out when he heard the shots. Everyone walked over, according to the attack formation. Suddenly a dark figure jumped out and knocked down a soldier. It bit the soldier by the neck and wouldn't let go. It turns out that this dark shadow is a vampire. Then another soldier was dragged away. The bullets fired by the soldiers have no effect on vampires. They're almost out of bullets. The dark shadow is gone. Cook immediately ordered everyone to stop. Cook's confidant Pete said it must be a monster from hell. The old man was right during the day. They must find the half-blood hunter. Cook took Peter aside to discuss it. Pete says he knows a half-blood hunter he can bring here. Cook agreed. Soon, Peter found Harlan in a public cemetery in another town. This man is taking his agent, Bailey, and deceiving the masses as a half-blood hunter. Peter quickly grabbed Harlan and Bailey and drove to town. Actually, Harlan and Peter have known each other for a long time. Since childhood, Harlan has been known as the Devil's Son, but he has never had any supernatural powers. As an adult, Harlan used this identity to defraud people of food and drink. The four men soon returned to the town. Cook was surprised to see Harlan. It doesn't feel like this person is a half-blood hunter. Cook told Harlan the whole story. Harlan gave up as soon as he heard. He said he was nothing but a liar. He wants Cook to release him and Bailey. Cook then slapped Harlan. He's forcing Harlan to stay in the hallway by the plaza tonight with the bodies. Then Cook told Pete to give Harlan the pistol for protection. Midnight, drinking, Harlan wandering around town with a gun. He went into the church. The female vampire appears again. This time she pretended to be innocent. She wants Harlan's help. The female vampire slowly approached Harlan and hugged him. Harlan thought she was scared. The female vampire suddenly stopped crying and bared to fangs. At this moment, she smelled the unusual smell of blood on Harlan's body. She quickly pushed Harlan to the ground. Harlan was scared, too. Then he ran out of the church. There are already 3 vampires guarding the door. 3 vampires prepare for a feast. Harlan immediately took a pistol and shot it, but it didn't help. Cook heard gunshots and ordered no one out. Harlan's only way to save himself is to empty the magazine. 3 vampires in there laughing, and then the head vampire cuts Harlan down. The next second, it was stained with Harlan's blood. The vampire sees himself turning into a skeleton. The female vampire who escaped realized that Harlan was not human at all. At the same time, a vampire broke into Cook's room. The scene suddenly erupted with countless gunshots. Harlan in the plaza was grabbed by the neck by another vampire. That's when Harlan put his bloody hands around the vampire's neck. Suddenly, the smoke started to rise. Harlan's blood corrodes the body like sulfuric acid. The vampire quickly turns into a skeleton. The female vampire was completely shocked. Goka, the Dark Lord in the secret stronghold, sensed all this and ordered the vampires to withdraw. He only left the female vampire undercover. The second day, the body of a vampire turns into a skeleton under the sun. Cook takes everyone out. Bailey was happy to see that Harlan wasn't dead. Harlan told Cook, "There's a vampire girl in the church." So everyone went into the church. The roar of the female vampire scared many of the soldiers away. Cook immediately fired a warning shot. He won't let the soldiers leave. Shin, who was walking at the end, suddenly pointed his gun at Cook. He expressed anger that Cook led everyone to fight vampires. He asked to leave. Soon Shimu took the lead and a riot broke out. Shim wants to drag a vampire girl out into the sun and let it burn to death. Harlan and Cook stopped him. Now they need a female vampire to know where the vampire's stronghold is. Their ultimate goal is to eliminate Goka, the king of the night. Shim simply ignored it and shouted that he would take the soldiers and get the hell out of here. The soldiers offered to follow. Keek thought so too. In the end, Cook was left to fight alone. He also asked Bailey to leave with the soldiers. Cook doesn't need him to take risks with him. Cook had Pete drag Barry away. The evil Shim sealed the big wooden door of the church before he left. The female vampire initiated a conversation with Harlan. It itself was also threatened by Goka. The female vampire wants to get out of Goka's control. Only Goka is not afraid of the sun and can't make ordinary vampires. Harlan is a half-blood hunter. The so-called half-blood hunter is a species born of the Night King and an ordinary woman. Goka already knows about Harlan. He will destroy Harlan by any means necessary. The other side, the convoy of soldiers entered a forest. At that moment, there was a sun fog in the sky. People are getting worried. The lead driver began to cough and spit blood. The driver had to jump out and kneel on the ground coughing. Soon he fell dead. There were strange noises in the depths of the woods. A dark shadow floated out. A man in a cape beat for men to the sky in one fell swoop. Then the soldiers fled everywhere. Harlan on the other side sensed what was happening in the woods. In fact, this is what Goka made Harlan feel. Harlan wakes up and says he saw Goka capture Bailey and the soldiers. Harlan asks the female vampire to take him to Goka. At this time, the female vampire's ears heard Goka's voice. Then the female vampire loudly agreed to Harlan's request. But Goka questions the purpose of the female vampire. The female vampire says she will only be free if Goka dies. The three reached an agreement to kill the fruit cart. The female vampire rushed out of the church door in an instant. Cook found the car and the gun. Harlan found a big razor and some wine. Then the three of them got into the car together. The other side, the soldier and Bailey are taken back to Goka's lair. Soon Goka turns them all into vampires. Before long, Harlan and his party reached the outskirts of the vampire camp. Harlan cut his own palm with a razor and there was a lot of blood. Then he twisted the bullet and blood together to make a super bullet. Harlan gave the female vampire the bloody razor to protect herself. Led by a female vampire, they came to a building. Vampires are already lurking here. These are Cook's soldiers. As the bloody bullets were fired, many vampires were corroded and lost their lives. They fought for several rounds. They finally annihilated the vampire soldiers. Just then, the female vampire pointed the gun at Harlan. She said Goka made her do it, because the Goka is too powerful. Harlan also teaches the female vampire that she is not a slave. All of a sudden, the female vampire fired one shot and left. The shot hit Harlan in the stomach. Cook didn't think it was a serious injury. Early the next morning, Harlan's wounds healed. Cook is surprised to think that Harlan is a superhero. Soon, the two men entered the vampire's lair. However, Cook was soon captured by Pete and thrown into a dungeon. He didn't expect that female vampires were also imprisoned here. Peter was provoked by Cook and directly scratched his abdomen. Cook went straight down. Peter put out another paw and cut the chain. The female vampire also tied Peter's neck, and together they killed Pete. The other side, Harlan finally met Goka. He hasn't fired many shots yet. Harlan's pistol was shut off. Then Goka called Bailey out. Goka turned to best friends against each other. He himself was watching the excitement from the side. Bailey doesn't want to be controlled by Goka. He died after touching Harlan's blood on purpose. Goka is about to kill Harlan himself. At this moment, Cook and the female vampire arrived. They're all being held aside by Goka. Harlan on the ground dreamed of his father. He's the other king of the night, Zaka. Harlan's father gave him great spiritual encouragement. When Harlan woke up, things had changed. A true hero is born. He's like another vampire. In the end, Harlan defeated Goka. This is the end of the film. The plot of the film is very interesting. The film is called Dampier, a vampire-human hybrid, a rebellious vampire murderess, a strong human warrior. They work together to defeat a regional vampire leader, while a small Balkan town is under siege. In the end, they embarked on a journey to find the mystery of the hero's life experience. The special effects are rudimentary. The quality of the actors' looks and acting are not bad. The overall pace of the story is relatively slow without many climax. Alright, that's all for today's video. I'll see you next time.